Today's session is basic ordering on the ESUCC Marketplace. To access the marketplace, go to www.neesucoop.org and select the ESUCC Marketplace button on the right-hand side. This will get you to a login page. Log in as yourself and you should see a screen similar to this, and as you log in, you're going to see a number of catalogs listed across the bottom. These are the punch-out catalogs that are available through the system. And to search these catalogs, there's a few things you need to know first. Any catalog with just a simple globe icon means that you have to actually punch out to that site. And so if you click on the globe, it's going to take you to the website. And you search as if you're shopping on that vendor's website. So if I'm looking for pencils, maybe colored pencils, I would search for those. Find what I need, and maybe these are the ones I'm looking for. If I go ahead and add those to my cart, and I will go ahead and say that I'm done with this vendor and check out. It returns the cart back into our marketplace, and I can see what items I have in my cart right now. So if I click on the marketplace menu item up above, it'll take me back to our home page, and we'll see those items that we saw when we first checked in. The other method is to search multiple catalogs at one time. And in order to do that, you can do it by category or supplier. But before doing that, you need to know that this method is only going to search those catalogs that have the search glass icon listed on their catalog. So for instance, it's only going to search across CDWG, Midwest Technology Products, M&J, Parapol, Quill, School Specialty, and Staples. And we'll be creating these search connectors in the future for other catalogs. But just so you knew how that is going to search the catalog. So the first method is by category. So if what I'm looking for is categorized as potentially a technology item, I can select that technology and then enter a search criteria. So maybe I'm looking for category or actually Ethernet cables. And as you see, as I type this, oftentimes the search criteria is going to autocomplete for you, so you can see what search terms are entered for those items. When I select that, it's going to go out and search multiple catalogs, and you can see it's going out, and I'll return these results for us here shortly. By default, it's going to sort it by relevance. If I want to see lowest priced, I can do a sort by lowest price on the right-hand side. It's going to resort my items there. I can also do a search within my results. So maybe I'm looking for Cat 6 cables. And if I hit go again, it brings my results back. And so now I'm just looking at the category 6 cables. I can also begin narrowing my search. Maybe I want to deal with specific suppliers. So if it's M&J, I can actually select multiple suppliers that I want to deal with. And then with the manufacturer, doing the same if you have multiple manufacturers. But maybe I'm looking for a price range of a cable between that $1 and $25 price range. If I select this, it narrows it down, and then I get my results. At which I can review the results then and say, this is the one that I'm looking 4, and I need 10 of those, and I go ahead and add those to my cart. And I see now I've got 2 items in the cart from multiple vendors. You'll notice that it's also given what we call a cart message for each one of these vendors. So it gives you a little additional information. Talks about Brown and Sanger has free shipping on orders $75 and greater. So if you're ordering only one item from Brown and Sanger at $7.79 like we have in our cart, they're going to add shipping and handling to your order. It's not the aggregated supplier orders that has to be greater than $75. It's based on each vendor. So you got to order $75 through Brown and Sanger and any other vendors that may have this. M&J Technology. The cart message here talks about Apple requires educational entities to order directly from Apple. So if you happen to add an item to your cart that is an Apple product, they will remove that and not deliver the product because of Apple's requirements to order directly from them. So going back to searching, another method is to search by suppliers. So we have a tab up here where I can come and do a search by suppliers. Again, I get a drop-down list, and maybe I want to search CDWG and M&J Technologies. And I'm looking for USB flash drives. And so I can search multiple vendors at one time, and it's going to bring back those results just for CDWG and M&J Technologies. Again, I can resort my list however I want. Maybe this time I want to look at the highest rated items by other shoppers. And right now we're not seeing any stars, so you can actually rate these. By adding a review, titling it, and so forth. But if I go back to my results, by clicking on back to search results, I can look through the list. I'm going to resort this by lowest price because that's typically what I'm looking for. And maybe I like this transcend over this edge, and I'm going to order 3 of those. Add them to my cart. And again, I got another cart message from CDW because it's a different vendor. So you want to pay attention to these cart messages. At this point, if I go back to the marketplace, we've shown how to search from categories and how to search from suppliers. You can also use the search glass on the supplier listed down below to search for items just for that single supplier. So if I click on that, and so Midwest Technology products, maybe I'm looking for some power tools for the shop class. I'm going to look for a router. It comes back, lists my results. So we got routing tables, different router bits. Maybe I'll go back and order a router table here. And this one looks good. Add that to my cart. Back to my marketplace. We've pretty much covered the different ways to search for items, to view other items that are available. If I'm looking for athletic and sports equipment, but I'm not sure which vendors may have that, off on the left-hand side, we have all the categories listed. And if I want to look at athletic and sports, we do have School Specialty as a vendor providing those. Classroom supplies, we have Midwest Technology, Quill, School Specialty, and Staples. And likewise for technology, we have a number of technology catalogs available. And so when you search for these, it's going to bring those results back based on how they're categorized here. So you can kind of view those and see how we categorize different vendors. I go back to my marketplace and all suppliers. We're going to see and cover the different icons that are available underneath the supplier. So we've already covered the punch out icon that takes you to the vendor's website. We've covered the search icon, which will search that vendor only. Another one is just a document icon, and this is going to list contract information or contact information for that vendor. So if I click on that, it's going to pull up information about the vendor, what kind of product they may be selling, contact information for that vendor. So if you need to get a hold of the vendor for specialized pricing for any reason or anything, you can do it through here. And if you have any questions, you can contact us. So that's the document icon. The last icon is the dual arrow icon, which is a request for quote. And you can access it here, or you can also access quotes by seeing previous quotes that you've requested, or going to requests and saying new request. It'll all do the same. But going back, we're going to access it through the icon on the home page here. And what this is for is for creating those requests for multiple items. So typically in technology catalogs, a lot of times if you order quantities of greater than typically 3 or 4, I would ask for a request for quote, and the vendor can respond back to this request and give you a increased discount on the product. So say if you're ordering 10 to 100 Ethernet cables, you'll get a deeper discount by requesting quote. So you can give the request a quote name, and it may be Ethernet cables for this scenario. And it may be for the wireless project that we're working on at the school. So that's just for your purposes, really. And then a date, deadline that you want this returned from the vendor. So maybe I want this 2 weeks out from today. So we'll select November 20th. And then I get a list of suppliers that we can send this quote to. And so there's 2 vendors that are dealing with technology right now that I can send this to. It doesn't mean they're the only ones that we have in our marketplace, but they're the ones that are receiving requests for quotes right now. And then I can add several lines here if I want, and I can manually type in the items that I'm looking for and a part number. And if that's maybe a Belkin, however, whatever their part number is for that item, we'll enter that in here. A targeted price. So if you've seen a price that you've already looking at, so maybe they're $3 and you want to get below that. Hopefully I would probably suggest not even enter any target price because we're looking based on quantity. And if I'm doing 100 of these, then I can enter the quantity here. And then I'd continue to add other items in my request for quote down here. The notes to the supplier, if you have any cables, must be Cat 6 and certified or whatever. And then internal comments or comments that you're the only one that's going to see. So, this, you may sent to Gov Connection, maybe on a through a email maybe. And then you can add attachments if you want. So, and once you hit this, it's going to send this to the vendor and email information to the vendor, and then they'll get back to you through the portal here or the marketplace. And what will happen is when it comes back in, you will see that you have a request here already. And so then you can actually do a comparison and compare them with other requests. But if I wanted to go in and review that, I could see what the vendor actually responded and so forth. So, and I can actually add this to a cart if I actually had items that were available for purchase, and actually order it after that and finish the process. So for shopping, that covers most everything other than checking out. And so at this point, if I'm done shopping, I come up to my shopping cart up in the upper right hand corner. I'm going to finalize it here now. I can update quantities here maybe in items if I want to. Go ahead and click update. And at this point, maybe I don't want this item here or something. I can remove those. And now I can check out. When I check out, there are 3 items that I need to finalize before I place my order. Those items are the shipping address. So I'm going to verify that my shipping address has been set. You can do this under My Profile. And so it's going to save your shipping address. And I'll just show you where those are at. If I go to My Profile, it's going to have addresses, default shipping address. I can change this shipping address. These are addresses that are actually defined by an agency admin within your organization. They are the only ones that can set up addresses. So if you don't see an address listed here that needs to be, go and talk to that person and they can actually remove the address or add an address for you. And so for me, my office is in Holdridge. I'm going to select the Holdridge office. I can also set my default billing, and so this is correct. We bill to this address, so I'll leave that there. And then I can hit save. Other items within my profile that I can actually save are my credit cards, so I can add a credit card here also. This is where I also go and change my password if I want to do that. If I know it and I'm into the system, I can change, but I need to know the old password and the new password. So going back to our checkout, we're going to finalize here. And the last thing I can do is assign a purchase order number and payment method, actually. And so we do accept credit card through the systems, but the purchase order seems to be more utilized by school districts. Other agencies may utilize a credit card more. So the thing with the purchase order, we've got 3 different vendors listed in our cart right now. And so if a district wants to break out different PO numbers for different vendors, they can do that. If you see the link where it says enter a different PO number for each supplier right below the payment method, if I click that, it's going to give me the capability of entering multiple POs. So it's 1920 on this one, 1921, and 1922. So we split those out. And at this point, I'm going to click on place the order. When I click on place the order, it's going to send this request to the approver that has been identified within your district. It will send them an email. That email will have 2 buttons in it where they can actually click on approve or deny right from the email, and without logging into the system, that user can approve a requisition. And to give you an idea of what a requisition looks like, I can come back in and view requisitions that have been placed in the past and see what is where they're at within your approval process. So if I go up to requisitions, if I wanted to check on an order that I placed weeks ago, I can come back into it and view that. This particular one, we can see that Dev has requested some items here. And as long as we have green lights all the way across, we know that that requisition has made it through the complete approval process and has been sent to the vendor. If any one of these has a yellow or a red light within the process, a yellow light means that it's waiting on that person to approve it. A red light means that they're waiting on the previous person and for that requisition to get to them. So by looking at this requisition, we can tell that it's made it clear through the approval process by getting approved by 3 different people. And typically your last person is your business manager in your approval chain, and they will assign the purchase order. And at that point, it goes out to the vendor. That is the order process and how to search for items within the marketplace today. If you have questions, please email coop@esucc.org or give our office a call at 402-387-1245. Thank you.